Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Okay, welcome to Sunset here in Golden, BC. It's time for the third iteration of my living quarters, my very stealthy Dodge Grand Caravan. I have very little on the exterior, in fact almost nothing on the exterior, which could indicate that I live full-time inside in 4 northern Canadian seasons. Look, I'm a bit of a cheapo, so I didn't spend a lot of money on basic furnishings. A lot of it was found. Most of it came from charity shops like Value Village, including my appliances, and I've improved my cooking situation in here quite a bit. The things that I did spend money on were my basic life support systems, like my diesel heater. I think it was in the realm of about $130 Canadian. I installed it myself, so I saved a whack of money doing that. I did have to put a couple of smallish holes in the floor, but it wasn't a big deal. I did buy a second-hand 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery because I wanted to run my heater independently with that battery and not take up too much space on what at the time was a Bluetti AC180, about a 750, 800 watt-hour power station. And that's been working out really, really well for me. I recharge the lithium iron phosphate battery through my power station when I'm driving a lot, or I can plug it in a regular AC outlet and charge it up that way, but it's quite a slow charge actually. It's just been working fabulously. And in the summertime, when I'm not using my diesel heater, I have my 100 amp hour standalone battery as a backup source. It's actually got a little USB-A plug in it. It's also got clamps that can let you put a cigarette type socket in it. So it's just a great backup source. I did have some problems with my Bluetti AC180. I sent it back fairly recently, but I'm going to do a separate video about that. And I actually bought a power station with a slightly higher capacity, but more importantly with an 1800 watt inverter, so I could run my new very old microwave. So why don't you come inside and have a look at everything? I'm really happy with it all, to be honest. Okay folks, this is where all of the magic happens. So I bought this little microwave at Value Village with a big fat old discount coupon, and it cost me the very princely sum of $10 Canadian. What's that, about $1.50 American? And it is perfectly good. So it's supposed to be I think a 750 watt microwave, but it actually does run at something like 1400 watts. And not much I can do to the settings will make it run any lower energy, but it doesn't matter because here is my new power station. It is a Bluetti AC180, and it has a capacity of about 1200 watt hours, and more importantly it has this wonderful AC function with the inverter that allows me to run my little microwave here without any headaches. So yes, of course it does drain the power rather quickly, but I have a Bluetti Charger 1. So that's a battery-to-battery charger, DC to my power station, which comes in via this barrel plug here. And I'll show you where my Charger 1 is located in the short future. But I'm going to do a comprehensive review. I decided to buy another Bluetti, even though my first Bluetti failed because their customer service, in my case, have been absolutely fantastic. And they gave me a full refund. But my AC70 did fail in under a year in a relatively minor way, where I lost my 100-watt power delivery USB-C ports, and that was just unacceptable. I like to have fast charging ports for my laptop. As you can see here, I just bought this little 4-cube unit for about $5. It's not pretty. It really isn't pretty. I could make it more pretty, but I don't really care. It's just fine the way it is. And it's not the same size as an IKEA cube unit. It's shallower, so it gives me more options here, more space, more room to have a little bit of an alleyway, which I like. The more space, the better. I want everything I need, but I don't want it to be jam-packed, cluttered, looking like a hoarder's place. So these are the regular size IKEA cubes, in which I use actual cube packers to keep myself very organized. And that works really, really well. I just love cubes for this kind of application and for traveling as well. So everything has dual purposes. So here is all of my basic clothes, plus all of my toiletries, my medications, everything like that is to hand. So at night, I move 6 inches and voila, I have what I need. Down here, I just have electronics. And again, everything packed in cubes, organized, accessible. And I bought these really cheap little IKEA organizers, and they're just for things that I want to hand quickly and simply. Bada boom. So down here, pens, headlamps, etc., etc. And then I have a smaller cube down here. Whoops, we don't want to look at that, do we? We do not. Where I keep some odds and sods, a little bit like my big junk drawer, including my little Dash cooker here, my little Dash electric cooker. I use that to make eggs. I use that to make grilled cheese. I use that to grill my fake meat chicken burgers. And I got that again at Value Village for like $3. And it's been fantastic. It doesn't take up that much energy either. And then here, I've just got my little cleaning caddy. So soapy water for dishes, my dish soap, and then plain water that just does loads of things, and my floor brush. And that all slides neatly back in there, and everything seems to more or less stay in place with the help of a very long bungee cord. Now that it's summer, brought out my little fan systems. These are just little USB rechargeable fans, and they can very easily be recharged by popping them into here. I have a very ugly plastic drawer system, but it fits in this space, and all of my food is in there. You don't need to see inside, and I still have loads of room to add more, but I would desperately like to change that out for something slightly more aesthetically pleasing. We shall see. Here we have the exhaust for my diesel heater. My diesel heater is located below. We'll see when we go out to the back. And my wash basin for my dishes, and for sponge bathing and everything like that. It works very well. And obviously a very simple USB pump operated 18-liter jug, which I get refilled for $2.99 or less at Canadian Tire. My BougeRV compressor fridge. I believe this is 37 liters. And golly, does it ever work well. Sometimes I like to use it as a freezer. So I'll set it to freeze. I'll put freezing blocks in there, or water to freeze in jugs, and then I'll use my cooler to keep my condiments and whatever can't be frozen in there. I like to keep frozen vegetables. I like to buy frozen meals. when I find healthy ones that aren't too expensive. So this is versatile. Would I have preferred a dual system where you have one side freezer, one side refrigerator? Maybe, but actually my little system works quite well. Freezing obviously takes up a lot more energy, but I have the capacity now, and it all works out just great. At the end of my little bed here, I just have, again, it's where I put my night clothes. It's where I put when I get ready to go to bed, put everything that I need for the morning. Stash a little hat here and there. And here I have my stationery, tidy. So everything that I need if I want to get out my coloring book. No, I don't color. But I do like to make maps and things, and I like to use colored pens to do that. And I have my other little stationery bits and bobs. Everything I need is close to hand. I love this system of hanging a bungee to just pop things on. So it's my Bluetooth speaker, my mini headlamp in case I need it in the middle of the night. It's right there. Hang my bear spray there in case of an emergency with intruders. Up here, just a little basket that I bought at a secondhand store, which I keep my keys in usually. Everything close to hand. I know where it is at all times. And up here, I have my LED lights. So these are just cheap little LED lights from IKEA. I think they cost me, I got them in the bargain bin, you know, the as-is bin, for about $2. And it just plugs into my power bank here. And this gives me a fantastic amount of light. And I just hold it up here with little drawing pins, as you can see. And it's ugly, kind of, but it works. And I have another one in the back. So this place lights up like Santa's grotto around pre-Christmas time. Okay, what else here? Well, got a little hot plate so I can transfer things that I've been cooking here. So this is this little portable canister stove. Well, that got me through most of the first year of living in my van. And it's just bloody marvelous. And I get cheap canisters of butane at a Chinese supermarket here called T&T. So I love that idea, but however, if I don't have to use gas, I don't like the idea of having to dispose of them. And I've got free electricity coming from my alternator to power this and power that. Well, I prefer to use the free power. I'm not a microwave snob, even though I was a professional chef at quite a high level at one point. I'm definitely not a microwave snob. Hi, Murphy. I miss my little Murph. So since I've bought the microwave, I find that I'm using it rather a lot, as long as I know I'm driving down the road to recharge my battery. Just to keep that from rattling, I turn that upside down, and I have another little USB fan here. I have my fire extinguisher very close to hand. I bought this little, I'm sure it's meant to be a spice rack, but again, it was a secondhand shop buy, and it's just a nice place to keep my books and my writing materials. Right here is the same old thing that I've been using since the beginning. This was brand new when I found it sitting next to, what do you call them here? We call them skips in the UK. You know, one of those big industrial waste containers. Anyway, it was clearly being thrown out for heaven knows why, because it was spanking new. And it's been my little cooking area. So my drawer with a couple of levels of organization. And that's been splendid. I don't need anything more. I don't need anything fancier. Okay, here I have the accoutrement of daily cooking. And I keep that very minimal. So 2 pots and a small frying pan, 1 plate, 1 smaller plate, bada bing. So here we have my nifty little toilet / footrest. And I'm not shy, I'll show you. So this is just a dollar store laundry hamper that I cut down because it was like very cheerful and a bit neutral. And I just bought a Reliance toilet seat, which fits on a 5-gallon pail that costs generally $25. But I bought a little, I don't know, I think it's a 2.5-gallon pail, modified it slightly, and boom, I have this nice little loo, which I tend not to use unless it's an emergency. However, there it is. I rather like having everything to hand. Under here, we'll have a little look at my bed. So my bed is, I'm not going to take it apart to show you, but it's two identical benches that I found at the Home Restore. That's another charity organization for those of you who aren't familiar. And they usually deal with more like building materials that have been donated to them and they resell to the public. Well, they had about 100 of these strange benches. And I thought, well, they're partially upholstered already, so they've got a little bit of padding, a little bit of cushioning. I can turn them into a bit of an L shape, so I've got more room here where it sort of feeds into the door, and then back there, less room, but ample for my feet and my legs. Underneath, and I modified them, I cut them down quite short, so I can sit up without crashing my head into the ceiling. And this now becomes, this area now becomes my office, my reading space. I'm very comfortable to sit up there. I wouldn't mind some cushioning in the back. One of these days I'll get to that. And then I use this area here. I put a little writing desk up. I can sit on my little portable loo for a stool, and I can comfortably write and edit videos there. I also have one of these little nifty desk trays that I use quite a bit as well. So that works out for multiple options in this tiny space. Under the bed, I have got room for a fairly deep but shallow bin for clothing. And under there, I keep shoes and whatnot. It's not even full to capacity. So I still have room to add more clobber if and when I choose. So back here, there's my diesel tank. It's still quite cold here at night. I mean, it's June, but I am in the mountains and the nights do get cold. So I'm still using my diesel heater. Under there, you'll see my actual unit. And beside it, here is my battery. And I built a little platform, just very, very basic with some scraps of wood from my dad's place. Added a wooden box we had lying around, and then I've got another drawer that slides out for cleaning materials and bits and bobs. I've got some camping equipment, some traditional camping equipment, and I've got an Instapot, a little 3-quart Instapot. Haven't used that yet. That was just another irresistible find from Value Village. I think it cost me like $5. And here's my little cooler. So I can put ice packs if I choose to use this as a freezer. I can take ice packs from there, put that in there, and use this as my little fridge, and just use that as my freezer. And as you can see, it's just also really rather nice and airy. Coming over to this side. In the front, I keep my laundry, toilet paper, and all of that other stuff you don't want to air in public. Under there, some more hiking materials, my nighttime bedding, my gym bag, and some of my reflective window covers. And here I keep tools, wires, anything I might need to repair a wire with. Here it's just a nice and tidy access if I want it. Get a nice cross breeze on those really hot days. My remote for my diesel heater, so I almost don't have to get out of my sleeping bag in the morning to turn on my diesel heater, and then in 10 minutes it's nice and toasty in there. Or my rubbish bin. It's just an IKEA recycling bin. Again, super cheap. And I just put a little anti-slip mat on it, and that makes my little coffee cup table in the morning, and a little extra place for my phone and stuff when I'm driving. Works very well. Hey, well, yes, here I just have my same old junky window shades that I made at the beginning, and they have to be replaced. They're just foam boards from the dollar shop that I cut to shape, but they've shrunk and they're sort of getting shredded. They're still kind of okay, but I'd sure like to find a better system that doesn't cost me too much money to make, that completely blacks out my windows so I can stealth with ease in the city. Last thing to show you really is, so this is my Bluetti Charger 1 with wires that go into sort of underneath my floor mat here. You can see the set of wiring goes through a rubber grommet there and into my engine bay where it connects up to my battery. I have another video that I did of the install, and I'll post it up there. I think that's kind of it. That's the nuts and bolts of it. I'm super happy. I'd like a plusher, cushier bed. It's just a matter of spending a bit of money for a better mattress, and then I'll be a princess. I'll be a princess in my little palace. I love my little car. Wish you were here to see it, Murphy, in real life. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little car tour. My little no-build Dodge Grand Caravan Petit Palais. I'm going to find myself a nice spot to discreetly camp overnight here in the industrial district. It's still incredible, the views that are all around me, the unbelievable sunset. What a life. So if you enjoyed this, please do the thing, like and subscribe, and I have a playlist that I'll post a link to at the very end of this video. For now, be well, breathe, and be free. That's the best thing.